The tragic murder of Sarah Everard opened up a lot of questions about police vetting and about what kind of officers the police are actually recruiting. And a new survey has recently opened, which actually gives officers the chance to talk about kind of officers that are being brought in. And it opens up a lot of questions because I've been really vocal about this in that the police are hiring the wrong people. And it's for a reason which you will not hear in the media why this is happening. So if we just look at the story now, so this is from the BBC News and it comes from Everard Inquiry opens up survey for police officers. So what we have here is we have police officers and staff are being asked for their views on recruitment, vetting, culture, and standards as part of an inquiry into the circumstances around the rape and murder of Sarah Everard by an off duty officer, Wayne Couzens. For those of you who don't know about Wayne Couzens, he's an absolute disgusting human being and he should never ever see the light of day again. He, in 2021, use the COVID restrictions to essentially drive around and find a lone female in order to do awful, awful things to. And unfortunately, Sarah Everard was a victim of this. He approached Sarah Everard, said that she was breaching lockdown restrictions, and then proceeded to arrest her. He was a police officer, so we had his warrant card, he had handcuffs. He handcuffed her, he then kidnapped her, and sadly she didn't survive. But there were a lot of missed chances when it came to Wayne Couzens and I have a few here. So there was alleged sexual offending dating back decades, including child sexual assault, attempted kidnapping at knife point, other sexual assaults, and other awful things. At least 8 reports of indecent exposure. There were vetting failures and broader systematic issues. So the recruitment process should have really picked up on Wayne Couzens. And the worry is, could someone like Wayne Couzens get in the police again? When we look more at this, we see the survey of those in England and Wales forces will form the second part. I can't even pronounce that. After its first report revealed, Couzens should have never been given a job as a police officer. The inquiry is investigating whether there is a risk of issues happening again, such as failures in police vetting and investigation reports of sexual offences. The inquiry found Couzens was sentenced to a whole life order, meaning he will never be able to be released from prison after Miss Everard's murder in March 2021. The inquiry found chances to stop Couzens were repeatedly ignored and missed, and its chairwoman, Lady Eilish Angiolini, I do apologise if I'm pronouncing that word wrong, warned that without a radical overhaul of policing practices and culture, there was nothing to stop another Couzens happening again in plain sight. Over the last 3 years, my inquiry has engaged with many officers and staff. I'm always encouraged by the commitment to serve the public. The survey opens the opportunity for all staff and officers to have their voices heard. If you're a police constable, staff member, this essentially is about you. So I've done a lot of research into police recruitment, and I also have a lot of officers who do contact me and they want to talk to me about what's happening. And my main concern is because we are really struggling to retain police officers, it means that we are lowering the standards of people who want to become police officers. Essentially, we're not completing the proper checks on people and making sure that the people who do join the police are the right kind of people. And naturally, if you reduce the parameters which people have to hit in order to become police officers, you will get people who should not be in the police joining. So, for example, they're not doing proper checks on recruits. And this is because they're trying to get as many people through the door as possible. And they're also reducing the requirements, what people have to hit in order to become police officers. So the fitness test used to be a 5.4 on a bleep test. Like that's all you had to hit. When I was in the police, that's all you had to hit was 5.4 on the bleep test, which frankly it's a quick walk. It's maybe a jog. And I think you only have to run for about 3 minutes. And it's to do with VO2 max and everything else. And believe it or not, there's plenty of people I knew that actually failed that. Whereas back in the day, you had to do a push test, a pull test, a much more robust physical sort of entry requirements. But now, as a result of people failing the fitness test at 5.4, what's happening is they're now reducing it, and some forces, in fact, no, I think every force now, they have the initial 5.4 entry, and then it's only 3.7 as a refresher, as if Billy Burglar will know that you've been in for a couple of years and will slow down for you. So I think it's absolutely ridiculous when it comes to just the fitness test in general, because even the fitness test how it is done now, it's just not applicable to the job. Like, it should be a case of how fast can you run half a mile? How fast could you run quarter of a mile? Can you jump over a wall? It needs to be much more job related. So we have officers that aren't as fit and aren't as physically capable getting in the police. We then have also heard that some forces have completely scrapped the interview process. Now the final interview was like the benchmark. It was a tough interview. I failed it once and then I managed to get in the second time. And because I really wanted the career, I had to make sure that I revised and I practiced and I went through it with a fine tooth comb, so I knew every possible question that they could possibly throw at me. What we're doing is we are reducing the fitness test, reducing the physical requirements, what are needed in order to become a police officer. We are also stopping people who may fail the interview process by scrapping the interview process, thus allowing people who would otherwise fail the interview process to actually get in the police. And on the other side, we are really struggling to retain people who are in the police currently. So I did a bit of research on this and it found the UK police service is facing a major recruitment and retention crisis. Nearly one fifth of early career officers, 1 to 5 years service, plan to leave within 2 years, and 27 of all officers resign before reaching pension age. Surveys show 74% cite low morale, 65% poor job satisfaction, 63% family life impact, and 59% mental health strain as reasons for leaving. The Times warns that the loss of around 10,000 officers annually is becoming a public safety crisis. So basically, what's happening is because we can't keep hold of police officers because of the state of policing and the way the officers get treated, we are then bringing in people who shouldn't be police officers in order to backfill the cops that are leaving. So what's going to happen is we're just going to get a worse police force. We're going to get people who shouldn't be in the police joining the police. And unfortunately, it's looking more likely that in the future, cases like Wayne Couzens and Sarah Everard and other cases like that are more likely to happen. I had a look on the Police Federation website about this, and it says 10,000 officers predicted to leave policing every year. It is terrifying that the police forces in England and Wales are projected to lose 10,000 officers a year, the chair of Cumbria Police Federation has said. Ed Russell was speaking after Tiff Lynch, acting chair of the Police Federation of England and Wales, wrote a column in the Times saying that the police exodus over low pay was a public safety catastrophe. We are on track to lose 10,000 officers a year. The proportion of officers with less than 5 years' experience has jumped by a third since 2019. We are hemorrhaging talent as long-serving officers walk away because they simply can't afford to stay. Cumbria Police Federation adding that 10,000 figure was not plucked out of thin air, but based on existing national trends. He said, "This, frankly, is terrifying. Policing is an extremely difficult vocation requiring exceptional interpersonal skills, legal knowledge, and its application, risk management, and complex operational planning. This is alongside significant disruptions to officers' personal lives. These skills do not develop overnight, and the attrition of skills and knowledge is becoming exponential. In policing, we target, recruit, and employ the best possible candidates we can, and then pay them little over minimum wage. Officers are demoralised and have frankly copped enough." So, in the future, we're looking at losing 10,000 police officers a year, which means that all that experience and the service of the public is going to go down. And then what we're going to do is then we're going to have to recruit new officers. So then we're going to lower the standards of officers getting in, which means more people who shouldn't be police officers are going to end up getting positions of power. And some people want to become police officers because they can exert power over people. And they're the wrong kind of people that should be in the place. So I really want to know your thoughts on this. Is this likely to be plucked out of thin air? Do you think this is actually true? Do you think that we need to make the job more appealing? What do you think needs to be fixed first? Do you think we need to improve the recruitment standards? Or do you think we need to solve the issue as to why so many cops are leaving? And what impact do you think this is going to have in 20 years' time? Let me know your thoughts. Be more than interested to hear it. Support the channel by subscribing, or you can buy some merchandise, or you can support me by joining Patreon or ordering my best-selling police memoir. And while you're at it, why not check out one of these channels? See you over there.